If you're ketovore and carnivore and you're missing pizza, this pizza has a crust that is 100% animal based, and it might be the easiest pizza I have ever made. Let me show you how. Welcome to Broken Carnivore. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly. Welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. You have to excuse me, my voice is hoarse. I lost my voice a few days ago, and I am grateful that it came back in time for this video. And so, as that says, let's get started with this video. I am doing an upside down pizza, and I'm gonna do it a carnivore style. This recipe was inspired by a gentleman that been following Farley since 2018, 2019. He's a chuck wagon cook. He's been doing it for a long time now. He also did competitions. You may have seen him on TV on these cooking competitions. I know he did a competition with Bobby Flay, I believe. Him and his wife does a video. They got a YouTube channel. Millions of people are subscribed to his channel, and probably hundreds of thousands tune in every week on Wednesday to see what he is going to be cooking. He does a lot of cast iron. He always has his chuck wagon. His name is Kent Rollins, and he did this recipe a few months back, and it really inspired me to say, I think I can turn this into a carnivore version of it. So let's get started with it. So I'm gonna turn on the burner here, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna ground up 2 pounds of ground beef. And I usually like to put it in cold. So as it browns up, it sticks a lot less if you put it in cold and let it gradually heat up. And so we're gonna brown this ground beef. Now, since the ground beef has now already been browned, what we need to do is we need to drain some of this grease off. So what I am actually going to do is I'm gonna kind of pile it to the center, let this grease kind of go to the side. And I'm gonna actually take this spoon and I'm gonna put it in this bowl, kind of get some of this grease out. So that way it don't feel so greasy. Now on the ground beef, you can use whatever percentage, 80-20, 90 more lean, 90-10, or 73-27. What I am using is actually 80-20 here. So let me get all this grease spooned out of here. I'm gonna leave a little bit of it, because a little bit of fat, because on a carnivore diet, it's about high fat, high protein. Fat is your primary fuel, and that's what our bodies actually make. Even if you're on a standard diet, you know, sugar, our body does produce some sugar through the meat and stuff, but it converts insulin's what converts it to fat, and that's what we run off of is our fat. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of this in here, but there's it produced a lot of grease, so we want to make sure all that grease is drained. You can put it in a colander, drain it to whatever which way you want it. The only reason I'm spooning this because I am actually, since I'm inspired with cast iron cooking, I'm actually going to use this skillet for the casserole dish instead of putting this meat doing it in a casserole. So, you know, that's the way Kent Rollins did it with his recipe with a Dutch oven. I'm going to use this cast iron skillet for my casserole dish. So I got most of that grease, so we're going to set this way over here so we can dispose of it. And now I'm actually we want to turn this down, because we're gonna add, this one's optional. I'm adding 15 ounces of tomato sauce. It's optional. If you're more strict, you don't have to add it. I choose to do it. And then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. And again, it's optional. You don't have to put it in there if you are more strict, or if you have an issue with garlic or tomatoes, anything like that, because there's people are allergic to plants. And then I don't have issue with spices or anything like that, so I mixed up kind of a Italian with seasoning with garlic powder, onion powder, all that simple ingredients with also with some Italian spices and seasoning and stuff, so it can kind of give that Italian taste. So and you can do whatever you want. You can just simply season it with salt. So I'm going to season it to taste. So we'll put some of this in here. Kind of stir it. I'm going to stir it around. And you want to turn your heat down to low so let it simmer together. And again, if you don't put, the tomato sauce in, you can skip this and you can go ahead and start layering it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm getting kind of letting it simmer a little bit, and I'm going to kind of give it a taste test here. See if it's my liking. I think that's good on the seasoning. So we're gonna let that simmer more, and I'm gonna press this down and go ahead and I'm gonna turn off the heat so we can add the next ingredient. Next ingredient that I will be using is sour cream. And if you're wondering why am I using sour cream on a pizza recipe, this is the first time I'm ever going to use it. It's in the recipe that I'm using. They said trust it. It tastes really good with it. I don't know what it does, so I'm going to put it in. And this will be the first time I do sour cream on a pizza, no matter what. And if it's good, I'm going to continue using it. If not, I'm going to ditch it on the next one. So it calls for 1.5 cups of sour cream. And I'm just gonna this whole thing right here. It's probably equals to 1.5 cups. So, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of layer it around. Kind of tough, but it is smoothing out. I'm still curious why the sour cream is in this recipe and why is it so good with it. So this is what I'm getting ready to do. All right, got that. We'll set that over to the side. All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our cheese. I got 2 different shredded cheeses. If you want to, I don't shred my cheese very often, but it's probably better to shred your own cheese, get the block of cheese and shred it, because you won't have some of the fillers in there. But regardless, if you don't, that's okay. I do the same thing here. So we're gonna add a cup of cheddar and a cup of mozzarella, and so we're gonna layer that next. All right, now we got our cheese already spread. So now this is the next thing. Now you can leave it here. You can add the Parmesan if you want, but pizza's always, in the past, always has crust. You can make it crustless if you want, but I'm gonna put a crust on there, and you can use whatever carnivore crust recipe. You have your own design or your own creation or someone else's. You can use whatever. I'm using one that I created the other day, and I will link the ingredients and how to do this in the description box down below, and I will actually do a future video on how I made this pizza crust. So we are going to put it, now we're going to layer it, but you know, if you notice that I cut it in triangle shapes, well, you know, pizza usually comes in shapes, so kind of make it unique. So I'm just gonna kind of layer this around. There we go. Now we'll take 2 to 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and we're going to brush it on top of the crust. Boy, this looks so good. This is going to be good. I can't wait to try this upside down pizza. And now our final topping. If you want to, you can go and get the shredded Parmesan or that in the container. I try to stay away much as I can from the container. I usually buy the block of Parmesan and shred it myself. It's much healthier. It's very simple ingredients. It don't have, because most of like if you see like the look like a powder, that actually has cellulose in it, which cellulose is wood pulp. Why would you want to have that in your cheese? It's not animal based. They use it for anti-caking, so I try to stay away from it much as I can. So I shredded my own, and it's whatever amount. So we're using it as a topping. So we're going to put it on top. I did about 3/4 cup. You can do wherever, how much you want. Now it's all put together. I have the oven behind me preheating for 350 degrees. So I'm going to be putting this in the oven, and it'll take about 25 minutes to cook, 25 to 30 minutes to cook. And I will be back after that to give it a taste test. All right, it has been 25 minutes. I pulled this out of the oven. I let it set cool for a little bit. And now I am ready to give it a taste test. This thing looks so good. I can't wait to give it a try, especially with the sour cream in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a piece. Really don't have to cut, but it's already, you can just pre-cut through the crust that I made. So let's pull out a piece. I need to get a fork. All right, let's give it a taste test. We'll see what it's like to have sour cream in pizza. I mean, it came out pretty good. Cheese melted, the beef blended with the seasoning. So here we go. That's actually good with the sour cream in it. I didn't think it would turn out that great. I didn't think it tastes great, but if you make this, you have to give it a try. You have to put the sour cream in it. It's up to you, but I definitely would put it in there. It's very tasty. It gives it a flavor. I have to get another bite. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely awesome. You definitely have to make it. If you are carnivore or ketovore, save this recipe. I will have this linked in the description box down below. And one thing you can do is hit the like button, subscribe to Broken Carnivores, comment pizza for more recipes like this, and click that notification bell. That way you know when the next video is coming out. Like always, let's be kind, be positive, have a good attitude, and encourage and support one another. Y'all have a great day. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. I got to have another bite.